Hi, Brian. Wanted to get in two questions for the price of one, again, if I could. With Byron Jones, is the Achilles at all a concern in terms of whether he's actually going to be able to play through this? And wanted to ask you why you and Chris decided to take a chance on Callaway. I know that the league-owned website says he's got to sit out 7 more weeks.
I'll start on Callaway and Chris and the personnel staff, Chris, Marvin, Brandon, and our scouting department obviously did a lot of work on Antonio, along with a lot of other players. We felt like it was an opportunity to add a talented player, and that's what we did. We'll work with them over the next few weeks in the capacity that we can. Obviously not, so much because of the suspension, but when we can, we will work with them. We'll see where it goes. The first part of your question with Byron, Byron's working, extremely hard to, rehab, and we'll see where he is for game time. But, something he's been dealing with, but he's working to get back out there as quickly as he can. It's a day-to-day, it's kind of a day-to-day thing. So we'll see.
Adam Beasley.
We heard yesterday from Byron and Kyle that the players have something in mind, this way a demonstration before the game. I would assume they've looped you in on that. Is whatever they're planning, are you okay with? And is there any kind of demonstration you would not be all right with?
I'm sorry, Adam. I'm a little bit with you driving and talking to me, I'm kind of a little bit afraid for your safety. So that's kind of where my mind is. Not sure what I talked to our players about the laws. But all right, so specific to your question, yes, we've had some conversations as a team. Look, I'm going to keep those internal. Look, we're going to support, any player and every player with however they want to protest or whatever they want to do from that standpoint. But yeah, those conversations are ongoing. And again, I think the topics they're talking about are very serious, and we respect each guy's opinion and right to protest, not protest. But I would also say that a lot of the guys, they just want to focus on the game, and that's been more of those conversations. How do we do whatever we're going to do, but also just have our total focus on the New England Patriots.
Cam?
Hey, good morning, Flo. When you got a game, I guess, like tonight, where you don't play either opponent, can you sit back and relax, eat some food, have a drink, and enjoy the game, or are you always on football mode trying to scout?
When I watch the game, it's, you can try to relax, but, what would you do on third down? What would you do in this situation? It's 2 minutes. Your mind kind of goes. I think that's how every coach is. Pop Warner, high school, college, National Football League. Once you get into, this profession and those types of situations, your mind kind of, it goes there regardless. So you can try, but that is relaxing in a lot of ways for coaches. So, yeah, it's nice to sit and watch a game. But yeah, your mind starts to wander a little bit, and start to work out how would you handle this situation or that situation. So, but it's going to be fun to have a game to watch. It's been such a long time, whether it's preseason. I think like a lot of people, I love the sport, so I'll be watching and I'll be working as well. So it's a normal Thursday night. It's back into kind of my normal routine in season.
Safid?
Flo, good morning. At some point over the course of this season, you'll be faced with the decision maybe of, maybe having to pull Fitz and put Tua in at quarterback. When you do have to make that decision or come across that bridge, whether it could be halftime of Sunday's game or later on in the course of the season, what makes you feel that Tua would be ready and prepared for that moment whenever it does come?
I mean, that's a lot. It's like a very hypothetical question there.
At some point it'll happen.
I think it could happen at any position. I mean, it's football. You know, guys get injured, things happen. So the entire team or the guys who are on the active roster have to be ready to go. And Tua was part of that. So, specific to, pulling someone. I mean, it's no different than if a guy goes down. Next guy's got to be ready. So, I think it's, I understand the question to a degree, but I want everyone on our team to be ready to go. I mean, if you're on the active roster, you need to practice and prepare as if you're going to go in a game, and I'll just leave it at that.
Omar?
Don't know how I could follow that one up, but I want to ask you about: do you see the coincidence in the fact that you've got 3 former Patriots as captains, even though?
Anybody else lose them?
Those guys, having been with you and familiar with your scheme and familiar with the organization you're coming from, does that have any kind of impact on where they've gone status-wise on your squad?
You kind of froze right in the middle there, Omar. So I believe the question is about the 3 former
Karras,
Patriots.
Roberts, and Kyle.
Well, I mean, I think they're all, good players. They're smart. They're tough. They care about the game. They're team first. I think, they've tried to build relationships, throughout, in the locker room and, on defense, on offense, on special teams. There are guys who care about those relationships, but they also, there's also a number of other guys who are very similar. Guys who aren't former Patriots, like Bobby, like Fitz, like Gotchow. It's always good to have those types of players on your team. And, I'm happy to have, the 3 former Patriots, but also the other guys we have as captains as well.
Armando?
Coach, a lot has been said about the uncertainty of the game and how the teams haven't seen each other in preseason and it's new to everybody. Is there any part of that uncertainty that you like? And what is that?
I think it's, there's uncertainty for everyone. Well, the thing I like about it is, you just go back to, your rules, your reads, your fundamentals, your technique, and you kind of see how far you come along from that standpoint. And I think at the end of the day, when it comes in football, when you're there's a lot of different schemes, concepts, defensive structures, and eventually you'll see something that you haven't seen before. And you have to rely on your rules and your keys. And if you do that, you should be okay. So that part of it I like. And that unknown is something that, a lot of players, they need to feel that. I think coaches need to feel that also. And how we respond to that, will I think, help us moving forward.
Cam?
Hey, Flo, I know we've probably spent a lot of time asking about Tua, but I wanted to see, I guess, are you okay with the scenario where he doesn't play at all this season?
I mean, you know how I feel about questions about the entire season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going to take it one day at a time. Again, everybody's got to be ready to play. It's football. there's things. I mean, you hope, you knock on wood, that there are no injuries, but the reality is that there are at several at positions, O-line, D-line, quarterback, DB. I mean, we're dealing with some now, so everyone's got to be ready to go. When your number's called, you got to be ready to go in and try to be productive. So, and if your number's not called, then you just have to stay ready. And that's kind of how the approach I'd like all our players to take, and coaches. Couple that with the pandemic, I think everyone's got to be ready to go. So, if there's a year where you see more players playing, I think this is it. So, I'm not really thinking about guys not playing. I'm trying to get guys ready to play. So I think that's what every coach should be doing.
I got time for one more. We'll go to Travis.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Earlier this week, Jesse Davis told us that he thinks whoever makes in-game adjustments the best will be the one that comes away with a victory. I'm just curious, are those mostly coaching observations, player observations, and how long does it take to make those adjustments? If you could just talk about the communication and the process of in-game adjustments.
I mean, it's a little bit of both, player and coach. I think that, the players are out there on the field. They hear things, they see things. And if you can get the players and the coaches on the same page, then you can make some adjustments. Now, there have been times where everybody's getting doubled. There's only so many people on the field. So, this guy got doubled, and I got doubled, and I got doubled. They just don't have that many guys. So, I mean, there's got to be some honesty and transparency there on both ends. And then you look at the tablet, and we have film. So we just try to tell them, let's be honest. And, if you screwed up a play, then, tell us about it, what happened, and, we'll get it fixed. But, I got cut, I got doubled, 8 guys got doubled. I mean, it's not, I've been in games where that's happened too. And it's not funny in the moment. It's funny the day after you watch the tape and you see the one guy who got doubled and other guys who just, couldn't beat a block. So, but yes, to answer your question, Travis, the in-game adjustments, you can make them, but it's got to be, the communication on both sides has to be, it has to be transparent, it has to be honest. That'd be my first thought. But, thank you. I'll remind our guys on that too.